How would you like to be only 15 and have this kind of a history, a background already? 200 television commercials, already starring in a CBS show called Big Seamus, Little Seamus, making a film called On Golden Pond with the really biggies, and now a Walt Disney production about a hot air balloon flight called Night Crossing. Doug McKeon, congratulations on having done so much at 15.
Thank you.
Recently in Omaha, he came with the Fondas for the world premiere of On Golden Pond. Was it cold? Was it cold?
Oh, God, was it cold. It was freezing. But I live in New Jersey, and right now we're getting some of that too, a big blizzard, so it wasn't that bad for me.
Well, what did you learn from Henry? Did they want you to watch him? Watch him, you know, an old man who's been around that long?
I watched Henry, and that was the advice given to me by Mark Rydell, the director. He said, watch Henry, because he's the master, and that's, you won't get a better opportunity to do so than right now, and learning from him, and that's exactly what I did. A sweet, sweet man. I was dubbed his personal dwarf for the whole summer. You know? Did little things for him, and I learned a lot about him. Very, very nice man. Generous too.
Well, how's his health these days? I know that he's getting to
He's a
age.
fighter. He's in there. I'm so proud of him now that he's out of the hospital and he's home, and we're rooting for him. We really are. He's sticking in there.
Well, it's going to be a very special film, we know, and it's exciting for him to have been a part of it. Now, he's got a new one. Okay. It's about hot air ballooning. Had you ever been up in a hot air balloon?
No, I never did. Though if you brought all the equipment, we could lift the balloon right here. We had a lot of training in that, and we were invited to actually go up in a balloon with some of the balloon experts on the film. But we haven't done so.
Oh, you've got to try it.
I hear it's a lot of fun.
Oh, when you get up there, it's so silent. It's so silent, except when you put the burner on and the propane's going up in the envelope.
Right.
Then you scare the cattle.
Oh, well,
the cattle in Nebraska go out of their absolute minds when they hear it, and they see this big 10-story, big black shadow going across them. You know, can you imagine
really.
if you were a cow?
If I was a cow.
If you were a cow, how would you feel?
I'd probably pretty scared, I guess.
Well, when the kids see the film, of course, it's looking like he's up in a hot air balloon. How do they do that, Dougie?
Hollywood secret. It was the first time I had worked with projection, in which we were up against a white screen, and they would project the ground below us, and we were picked up by crane. A lot of fun. Again, there's something about acting, you just can't learn enough about it. It's always intriguing.
Well, were you hurt at all? I remember when you tried to cut the ground ropes, and it seemed like you were thrown a little bit, and I thought maybe you got hurt.
In fact, we had one interesting shot where in doing that scene, I had actually slipped as we were being lifted off the ground, and my legs were locked still inside the balloon, and I was hanging out like this. And the camera was right on me. It happened to be right on me, and it just happened. And they had this great reaction of me on my face, really actually looking terrified, thinking that I was going to be dropped off the balloon, but we never put it in because it wasn't needed. But we never got hurt, no. It was a thrill for us. I mean, the first time we were they have huge, gigantic studios in Germany. And they had actually rebuilt the whole forest. The forest in the movie is within a studio.
Could you see the forest for the trees?
Yeah.
You could.
Well, vaguely. And there were trip wires all around the forest, and it was so real. It really was. It was magical, you know, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, go up in a hot air balloon, for real.
I'd love to.
Because the kids will all think you're an expert at it now, being able to build it like that. Having done over 200 commercials, which one's the worst absolute pits that you did, Doug?
I have a lot of funny experiences. I can just remember there was this one. In fact, it never came on the market. It was Squeeze Me pudding. It was in like a triangular carton, and it was pudding. A lot of different flavors, and we were singing. A bunch of kids, and we were singing on the steps, and we had these Squeeze Me pudding packages, and one boy right next to me squeezed too much of the pudding and went all over my arm. I just couldn't believe it.
What color?
Chocolate. incredible, but it was fun.
For our friends in Nebraska, do you have any advice for them, Doug? I mean, if they want to go into the theater and be a star like you're in the process of becoming, do they have to go to New York? Do they have to go to Hollywood?
Well, I've been fortunate in living where I am and being able to, I started out in New York. If you listen, if you want to do it, by all means, you know, really get into it. It's a lot of fun, you know, and do what you believe, you know, in doing. If you think you can do it, by all means, go for it. Excuse me, and you learn a lot. One thing that really amazes me is the fact that you never stop learning about this business and about this profession. And again, I've been very fortunate and very grateful for the people behind me and supporting me, and
well, you've got
it's a
a
lot of fun.
tremendous start. And at age 75, we're going to be watching your career and see if you do as well as Henry Fonda.
Thank you.
Okay, his name is Doug McKeon, and the film is Night Crossing. It's by Walt Disney, starring John Hurt and Jane Alexander, and this young gentleman who did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back and kidding around right after this.